We are here for about 30,000 days. How can we live these 30,000 days in a stable and happy way? A mother can explain this well. So there is protecting and providing. Both are the man's responsibilities. Women don't have to be strong and do all that. It's enough if they do nurturing. It's enough if they handle things softly and sensitively. That's the kind of world it is.
Any spirits?
That's the spirit of these women. It's often said in programs that you don't know your own power. Birth and death are complete, but life has no completion. It keeps moving through cycles of birth.
Welcome to ABC Talk from this group of institutions, Ernakulam.
How should I introduce dear Mohanji? Once our son has also come to this floor. He has spoken. The world knows him from the house where Mohan lives, right? There's no need to introduce him to Malayalis. I'm not using that cliched phrase for the world.
For me, it is to Malayalis that
I'm introducing him.
he is the world.
The world knows him. Maybe for Malayalis, perhaps we only get to know everything after some time. It's because Monji's field of work was elsewhere that we didn't know him well here. Because he is someone who sees the world as one. And because of lack of time, sometimes we only get him here occasionally. I think that during this conversation, our viewers will probably come to know who Monji really is. The most important thing is, I know that Mohanji doesn't really like it when people use words like great spiritual master to describe him. He always says that he is not a great person. He knows that it is people who glorify others, not himself. Still, Monji always wishes to remain an ordinary person. Born as an ordinary man, grew up as an ordinary man, and even now, he lives without any excessive burdens or pretensions. Yet, he is someone who could rightfully claim great titles in the world, but he has no real interest in saying any of that. So we are also interested in hearing such stories and experiences from Monji, right, Monji? You must also be interested in sharing them, aren't you?
During the fear of war, one of your posts really struck me. Your mind is your kingdom. Protect it. It was a post.
That is something I spoke about in Delhi. It was part of a speech I gave. All wars begin within us. When this war starts inside us and grows bigger, that's when it manifests in the outside world. There is a continuity to this. What we see outside right now, we tend to see as something that just happened suddenly. We see it as a single point in time, but actually a lot of preparation has already taken place before that. That preparation has already taken place in the minds of many, like knowing what happens after the First World War or the Second World War. Once it reaches a certain level, it turns into an expression, and then that expression becomes an incident, and then it becomes an event. So all the fields, anger, greed, desire, religion, and everything outside are actually within us.
That means
All our experiences are actually within us. So we need to maintain this inner world properly. Often we talk about maintaining our physical body and other things, but we don't pay attention to maintaining that inner world. We can often see its effect, sometimes right in our own hands.
it doesn't stay for long.
Many things don't last, incidents and so on. Asking why something happened is not always a valid question, because there is a reason. The real question is whether we have reached that reason, and most of the time, we haven't. Most of the time, we haven't. We are not that recent, or rather not on the outside. Then we only apply ointment to the symptoms.
Our innermost thoughts become our words.
Yes.
Words become actions, actions become our habits, and habits shape us throughout life and even in death.
All the way together, right? That's it.
This is the process behind it now.
Before that, there are impressions. That is, there are impressions we collect from life. Now, suppose we feel respect towards a person. Behind that, there is an impression. The other side of that impression we hold about that person is prejudice. Prejudice.
A person,
If we interact with someone based on prejudice, we will never have time to love them. So impression is the first source,
we can call those measurements or something like that.
right? That's its source.
We are just assuming about someone like this. That's what it is.
Yes,
Isn't it?
a prejudice forms, right? For that to happen, there is an impression. If I had a bitter experience before, we will super great impose that bitter experience.
We make an association. Let me tell you what I understood. That is, when I was very young, imagine there was a kid who used to poke with a pencil.
Yes,
If Robin Sir brother smiles at me the same way that kid used to smile, then I won't be able to love Robin Sir brother.
you can't.
I'll remember the poking, but this has nothing to do with Robin Sir brother.
Nothing at all,
That's what is called an impression.
isn't it?
That
We look at it and somehow these are things that happen when we are in a helpless state, meaning The impressions that come before we are able to stand on our own feet and develop our own personality are the ones that stay with us until death. Many people react at different times. Take Hitler, for example.
Yes,
Every single bit of it was from his early childhood years.
yes.
At one point,
You could call it fate or something like that anyway. That's what we can say about it.
that's right,
Because these are things that happen in life which we never invite, especially at a very young age.
that too has a continuity. To be honest, in our culture, in Indian culture, it is said that life is continuous. Birth and death. Birth has an end called death. That is, there is a completion for birth in the form of death. But life itself has no completion. It keeps flowing through different colors. So this pattern exists, right? The life pattern. There is a root to the life pattern.
No. So this is the Bharatiya Indian philosophy that says we are neither born nor do we die.
Another form.
Yes, it is the separated leaf of that.
So physically, we are not born nor do we die, but physically birth and death do happen, right?
So within this, it is said that up to a certain extent, we carry incidents and memories from our past lives.
Memories are difficult. That's why we don't remember. We don't know what happened before, but those impressions remain, and we react based on those impressions
What JK is talking about is karma.
because it's about karmic tendencies.
We are not karmic burdens. I feel it's DNA marking, something that's marked and carried forward.
We are connected.
Connected.
Our constitution is connected to that. Our pattern, a life pattern, a karmic pattern, and within the boundaries of that pattern is how we all behave.
How everyone behaves. Karmic boundaries, or how much that pattern influences, what percentage it influences our character formation or our lifestyle, even our perspectives and thoughts.
It can. In my personal calculation, it's 100%. That is, look, at any given time, we might feel like we have no part in this drama we're witnessing. Or even if we do have a part, it's like we're just watching a movie. That is, when we reach the level of I am just a witness, detachment comes. Now, one thing that has happened in my life is this. That was when I was in business. All this time till 2000. And after that, the number 2000. I'd been in business since 1990, but after that, at one point in time, I realized that this is all I can get from this. After that, business became something I could only witness as a bystander. Along with that, there was a change in life. The ownership was gone. Or at least the ownership when we say, this is my work. That sense of ownership is what makes us say, this is mine. Only then does all the emotional intensity come through.
Stand firm, right?
You'll stand firm and smile.
But Robbie, sir, brother, when we do all that up to a certain point, don't we need this ownership?
We don't need ownership, we need responsibility. Isn't there a difference between responsibility and ownership? That is, when we say responsibility, it means we have duties. Right now, we have to pay attention to the ones we depend on. That's why we need to look after the next generation as well. We have to look after the next generation and take care of our parents. That's what is referred to as filial duty and parental duty. So we have that responsibility, but where can we turn it into ownership? Their life is not under our control. We have no control over their experiences. This is,
How can we differentiate this?
what it means. That is,
Even now, when Mohanji says it, I myself find it difficult to separate responsibility and ownership.
let me explain that with a simple example. In between, just check for pain or pleasure. That is, if there is pain or pleasure involved, then there is ownership. That means if I am emotionally very attached to something,
The thing that I call mine.
within that, we experience a lot of pain. For example, if I do something and it doesn't get a response, or when I fulfill a responsibility, I do my duty, and then whatever happens next.
Just let it be.
But when there is ownership, it's not like that. It's not as simple as just letting go or saying, let it be. All those feelings are there. Now, this is different in business. In business, you need a roadmap, you need a target. What that means is you have to decide which path to take. You can't just do business without that. You need profits, or rather, you need a roadmap for that. That's the difference. It's a direction, it's a discipline, and you definitely need that discipline. But in life, when we are dealing with relationships or fulfilling other duties, there, you only have responsibility. You should be 100% responsible in that. But if you bring in ownership, it can lead to intense sorrow.
Or when it comes to the dynamics of family. Now, in a typical husband-wife relationship, along with the deep sense of mutual responsibility in a husband-wife relationship, a feeling of ownership will naturally be there as well, won't it?
Yes, that is exactly right. That is where these marriages often fail.
So it should happen.
That's exactly where now
I
am married, but I made my wife completely independent. She is not just Mohanji's wife. I told her she doesn't need to be that. So she has her own website. She has devimohan.com. She has her own team, her own activities. Sometimes she participates in Mohanji Foundation's activities as well. But she is not bound. So because of that, she has a lot of freedom. Otherwise, what happens is when we are under someone's shadow, we are limited and have to stay within that. So what that means is
Ownership is, as far as it is concerned, a major problem that most people face.
that right there is the fundamental problem, and it is simply because we do not truly know these women. That is to say, I personally never get the impression that these women are ever truly helpless or powerless.
And then that's not right. The statement itself is wrong, isn't it?
We have our Vemam Fest, and we also have the Vemam Hot Festival that we organize. The main point in that is that women are equally or even more important in creation. That is, if there are no women, there is no next generation. So it is women who bring forth the next generation. They deserve that respect simply by their existence, either by birth or by existence itself. That respect is given to them. Or by God.
It is given to them.
No one can change that, whether they are being suppressed or whether things are being done to them. This relevance will not change. That is actually the reason why so many women's festivals are started. That is, then why are you turning it in favor to women? They already have the favor, you know. Otherwise, when we say, let me grant you this, that's our arrogance.
When talking about the concentrated power of these women, I remember something from my own life testimony that I once shared. We had a daughter, and about 4 hours after she was born, she started having breathing issues and had to be moved to a ventilator. After she was put on the ventilator, everyone was really worried. By everyone, I mean myself and my close friend, Hani.
It's about the baby.
Biju, what I'm saying is the three of us, whether it was to my sir brother or to my mother or even to Sharanya, we didn't really say anything. They said, we can't say anything. The baby's situation is a bit serious. So we were extremely tense. And then my friends, I was just calling doctors and asking, what can I do? What should I do? I kept calling India.
Everyone who came to me asked the same question. Is it a boy or a girl? I said, it's a baby girl. Govind and Kudi, don't get tense. She will survive. This was a really, really tough time. But they said if it was a boy, there would be a risk for us. Not in life.
It's just biology, right?
I was born with this hand. What I'm saying is for
24 hours, I kept thinking, oh no, what does this mean? What is its purpose?
Yes, general.
Of it,
That's the extent of its strength.
what exists is very powerful. If you look at it, there are a lot of details in this. Shall we look at it? In this gene, right, a child needs to be with its mother. Otherwise, there will be complications. We have to continuously deny these complications. That energy, the energy that comes into our vibration, is present in all animals and birds. That energy vibration exists in the world. That's one of the main reasons for this. It's not my psychomatic discovery, but rather my perspective. That is, we should never break this bond between the 11 animals and the one bird. A living being, this, and then the mother and child relationship is not limited to humans alone. It applies to everyone. That one single bond brings a lot of balance, equilibrium. I am now sharing these things everywhere, all over the world. That is, in these dairy farms, not even for a single day do the calves get to stay with their mothers. Similarly, in these pig farms, there's only a short period when the piglets are with their mothers. After that time, the piglets are taken away.
The same thing is happening in the case of humans as well.
There isn't a single child in the world who continues feeding without stopping, according to their own wish.
Yes.
In the world, unless something external interrupts, feeding is only broken by some external force, not by the child's own wish. So, to put it honestly, it becomes an obsession, and there remains an unfulfilled life inside. If we are a bit sensitive, we can actually sense this. That is, this woman's hunger is very, very powerful, and that's the main thing about it. What is referred to as thani is motherhood. The strength of this motherhood, if you ask what that is, if mothers are stable, the next generation will be stable. If they are unstable, I always say this in my programs for women, you don't know your own power. When did you have the most power? From the time your child was born until they were 4 years old, whatever you said, they would listen to. That is the time when you should tell them good stories, not stories about people who conquered the country through cunning, but stories of those who, even without wanting anything, gave everything to the world. You should tell them such stories. That way they will understand the strength, brilliance, and vitality within themselves. They should know that such people existed. These are unknown personalities like Hari Singh Nalwa. He was on his deathbed. By then, the enemies had surrounded the fort thinking that he had died. When they came, he asked to be placed in front of the other fort's gate. When the enemies saw his face, everyone ran away. That is, this person is about to die. Someone so powerful, so loyal, someone who believes in tradition to that extent. Or take someone like Nelson Mandela. After spending 27 years in prison, he came out and said, no revenge. He said he would not take revenge on anyone. Don't waste your time. So, on revenge, if people are taught like this, when they handle life, automatic guidance will come. They will know how to face things. They won't react, they'll respond. If you say reaction, that's emotion, that's ego. But if you say response, that's intelligence. There will be a pause. You hear something? After taking a pause, they will only say what needs to be said. If there's nothing to say, they won't say anything, and they'll learn to use silence well. But that's not what's happening now. Now, competition is being taught. You're told you have to be better than the next person, that this person is wrong and that one is right. That's what's being taught, but it has no relevance. We're here for about 30,000 days. How do we spend these 30,000 days? We can live happily like a table. That's something a mother can teach her child, especially in the first 3 years or maybe 5 years. After that, sometimes children may not turn out exactly as you want. After 5 years, children start stepping into their own world. Until then, there is a big role to play. That's how it is. After that, there's this tendency. How can I cheat someone and make money? That's not right. If you teach them properly, let them handle their own matters. If you tell them it's enough if you take only what is yours, then they won't go picking someone else's pocket. In the same way, all sorts of cruelties and different things, this, that, and so on. I mentioned this at the police meeting in Hyderabad. I said 50% of the policemen should be counselors. That is, they should do counseling. It's easy for us to convict someone. It's easy to say after hearing someone that this person is fantastic and bad. After that, whatever happens, now everyone will call him bad. Then he'll think, I might as well live that way. Similarly, once they are put in jail, even those who were good will turn bad. So the foundation for all this is the development that happens in the first 5 years.
So
They won't show a lot of emotion in every matter. They will do what needs to be done, act when they need to act, say what needs to be said, and do what's beyond that as well. So we have this ability, the power of motherhood, as I said. If we understand this correctly, then even in small matters, we should give these women what they deserve. We should give it to them and do favors like that if needed. We shouldn't make it seem like it's just a favor or charity.
they aren't to be ignored.
They shouldn't be sidelined. Women should be in the mainstream because the next generation needs to be strong, right?
When we talk about men and women, if you look at the statement, it's always said that men are the ones who start everything. If it's about movements, it's men who initiate everything. If it's about building a house, it's men. But the one who runs the affairs of that house is...
Writing practice, these two things are with men. Isn't that why they stop on the left so that they can mount from the right side? That's why this hand is the right hand. And we rarely see people on the left side, right?
Yes, that's the reason.
The right side should be free because if you need to pick up the ball, you have to pick up the ball. So there's protecting, there's providing. In the past, it was the man's job. Women don't need to do things by being strong like that. It's enough if they do things gently and sensitively. That way, a similar world will exist.
That's the spirit.
That's spiritual. This is breaking through spirituality.
There is a powerful saying that I happened to read just yesterday. You should never underestimate a woman's incredible abilities. If you choose to do so, she might just turn into the fierce goddess Durga. Chetu, just take a moment to really think about it.
Don't reach that point ever.
Don't let it reach that point because you shouldn't underestimate her. That's right.
That's right.